Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. As always, I'm glad to have you here. Today let's prepare some chocolate soup. Here is being tested, and as you can see, it bladders so well. So let's zoom in. To begin with, I weigh all the oils that we'll be using in making this soup. I'll share the details in the caption, but basically we are using olive oil, coconut oil and sunflower oil. So let's discuss the composition of a soup. So to make soup, you will need 3 basic ingredients. That's your oil, your sodium hydroxide or caustic soda, and then your water. Yes, with just these 3 ingredients, you can be able to make soup. So here I'm weighing the olive oil, then the sunflower oil, and then the coconut oil. As I weigh the oil, I had already prepared the lye solution. The lye solution is what is going to make the oils change into soap. This process is called saponification. That's the process where the oils is changed into soap when the lye solution is poured into it. When we say a lye solution, it's basically made up of the caustic soda or the sodium hydroxide and then water. Okay, when these two are combined, it forms the lye solution. Whenever you are preparing your lye solution, ensure you are wearing your safety gears. So wear a safety boots, wear your hand gloves, wear eye goggles or eyewear, and wear clothing that are protective, okay, because the lye is very corrosive. If you should come into contact with it, you are likely to suffer some burns. And caution, whenever you are preparing the lye solution, never pour your water onto the lye or the sodium hydroxide. Always pour the sodium hydroxide or the caustic soda into the water. Why? Because when the water comes into contact with the lye or the caustic soda or the sodium hydroxide, a chemical reaction takes place which creates more heat. So the sodium hydroxide or the lye solution becomes very hot, up to about 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it's very important you do not pour the water onto the lye or the caustic soda, but rather do the reverse. And secondly, it creates bubbles, or it's more like boils. Imagine a boiling water splashing onto you. So it is advised that you do the reverse of pouring the lye into the water. Okay, and always ensure the lye solution is mixed in a well ventilated place, because it creates some fumes and can cause choking if the place is not well ventilated. So back to what we are doing. We are preparing some chocolate bars today. We've weighed all the oils, and here we are mixing the cocoa powder, which will be creating those brown swirls that we saw earlier. To enable the mixing, I pour a little bit of the oil onto the powder, give it a good stir to ensure it's well mixed, okay, and set it aside. And the water that we have by the side of the oil is the lye solution. This solution was prepared earlier. I choose to do this before the actual making of the soup because it saves me time. The lye solution can be very hot when you prepare it, and you need it to cool down before you pour it into the oils. Okay, yes, so I prefer to prepare it ahead of time. I will share the composition of the water to the lye in the caption, so please check it out. So here, as you can see, I've poured the lye solution into the oil, and then I'm stirring. It's very important you stir very well to ensure that every part of the oil is having a fair share of the lye, okay, that is well mixed, and you can no longer see any trace of oil. Why? Because if it happens that way, it could be lye heavy, or you could have some of the lye in the soap not well mixed with the oil, and if it happens that way, when the soap is used, you can have some reaction. Okay, So it's very important to ensure that it is well mixed, very well mixed. And then in soap making, there is something we call superfats. Here I poured in a citric acid mixture that I have made. I will share the composition of the mixture as well. I will speak about the citric acid solution. So let's discuss superfats first. When we say superfats, basically what we are saying is that you do not want all the oil to be mixed with a lye solution. You want some oil to be left so that it can more like provide moisture to the skin when the soap is applied. So I use 1 liter of oil. Assuming I will need, let's say, 150 of lye or caustic soda. Let's say I superfacted at 5%, meaning that I set 7.5 gram of the caustic soda aside, which will reduce the caustic soda I used to about 142.5 gram instead of the 150 gram. What this 7.5 that I set aside is going to do is that the oil, not all the oil will be having the lye impacting it. Okay, so 5% of the oil will not be saponified or turned into soaps. So when I use this soap, it is going to provide me some moisturizing effects. Okay, not going to dry my skin. Okay, now back to the discussion that we were having on citric acid. Okay, so I added a citric acid solution. I will add the components or the composition of the citric acid to water that I used in the caption, so please check it out. But why do we add citric acid to our soaps? When citric acid and sodium hydroxide or the caustic soda is combined, it creates sodium citrate. Okay, what sodium citrate does is that it acts as a binder, so it's more like binds all the metal ions or chemicals that can cause our soap to go rancid or to go bad or shorten the lifespan of our soap or the shelf life of our soap, and also combat soap scum. Soap scum results from the combination of contaminants in hard water like calcium with hydroxide. So when the sodium hydroxide comes into contact with the contaminants in hard water, it creates soap scum. You can do a bit more research on soap scum, but I've added it in the caption so you can read more about it. Now, when we use the citric acid in soap making too, we need to adjust for the lye or the caustic soda. Why? Because the citric acid consumes some of the lime being used. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, assuming I'm using 150 gram of caustic soda for this soap, and then I add 10 gram of citric acid, is going to consume 6 gram of the caustic soda, meaning that it will be left with 144, which will be more like superfacting of the soap. But here is the case, I have already superfacted the soap to give us or provide us with some moisture, so it will mean that the superfacting level will be very high. Okay, so it's very important you note this. Whenever you add citric acid to your soap, you need to adjust for the lye that you are using. If you want to superfat or not, you have to check for that. And when 10 gram of citric acid is used, you will need to adjust your lye or caustic up by 6 gram. Okay, you have to increase it by 6 gram. This will make up for the lye being consumed by the citric acid. Now we are all done. We have poured our soap butters and then we've made a swirl. I'm running this stick through quickly so that the swirl will come out properly. Now I'm trying to texture our soap. Please don't laugh at me. The texturing is always a battle for me, but I'll do better with time. Now that all is done, we need to set our soap mold aside for about 24 to 48 hours for it to harden up to form a thick mold. And as you can see, it's been over 24 hours. I'm unmolding the soap, and now we have our soap bar here. All good. It's formed very well. Now we'll go ahead and cut to see how it turned out. Okay, so I'm doing the cutting, and then I was very happy because it turned out so well, especially the swirls. I was so in love with it. Okay, we'll test it, but kindly note, it's advisable you use this soap after about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, because after 4 to 6 weeks it would have cured, or it will be very hard. Okay, then when you use it, it will take time before the bar runs out. Not just that, the saponification process will continue, or the soap making process will continue. So don't use it as soon as you are done with it. You would have to leave it for it to cure. Okay, it's best used after 4 to 6 weeks. Now I'm testing the soap out, and as you can see, it's lathering very well. It's a cleansing bar, and you can also try this at home. I'll leave the various measurements and all other notes as I mentioned in the caption. Check it out. And if you love this, kindly give us a thumbs up by liking our video. Do share, and then do subscribe for more videos. And if you have any questions, do share in the comment section and I'll get back to you. If you have any suggestion as to the next videos I should share, please do well to comment as well. Thanks so much for your time. I'm grateful for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.